What's going on? What is going on? What's going on, YouTube? What's going on, Twitter, man? It's the Randytalksmets show, and we are going to do this show every single Tuesday around 7 o'clock, 7:30, around there in that time frame. And look, I wanted to talk about the New York Mets, and I wanted to talk about this, and I wanted to talk about Carson Bench. I want to talk about, Brett Beatty. Who wants it more between Carson Bench? Who wants it more? I think when it comes to the New York Mets, I love this team and I love what's going on right now with this team. It's a whole brand new team and all that stuff. You got Carson Bench, you got Brett Beatty. And to me, I think Brett Beatty, there's been talks about his at-bats, how many at-bats he's going to get. Apparently, David Stern said he's going to get around 500 at-bats. And I'm like, how is he going to get 500 at-bats? Where is he going to get 500 at-bats from? And that's the interesting thing. But who wants it more in 2026? Does Carson Bench want it more? Does a Brett Beatty want it more? Now, that's something to be really discussed here. We already got a comment here, man. What's going on here? Frankie, what's going on? Thank you for coming to the stream. What's up, bro? I don't know if you remember me, but I used to follow you back then. Appreciate you coming back, bro. Appreciate you coming back. Definitely we will be live or, do a video every single Tuesday around 7 o'clock to 7:30, probably 7 p.m. So trying to be more consistent with it. But definitely appreciate you coming out to the live, man. So again, going into Carson Bench, right? Carson Bench is a guy that is gonna get the opportunity, and Brett Beatty is a guy that you would think would get much opportunity. But with David Stern saying he's going to get 500 at-bats, what is going to happen with these guys? But who wants it more? Who wants it more? Does Carson Bench want it more? You already seen the determination by Carson Bench already showing up in Port St. Lucie. That's what I really like about Carson Bench. He already showed up in Port St. Lucie. So that's a huge thing. That is a huge, huge thing. But let me see here. Let's get to our next thing. All right. So Carson Bench 2025 stats, guys. Let's talk about it. His batting average in what's it called? In Brooklyn. 302 was the batting average. And then he had 4 home runs. He had 37 RBIs and he had 897 OPS. Now that is very, very important. With these stats, right? You look at year by year by year. You look at Brooklyn, you look at Binghamton, you look at Syracuse. That's definitely important here. So a batting average of 302, I feel that when it comes with Carson Bench, he's a good he had a really good time in Brooklyn. Like 302 batting average is very impressive. The OPS being 897, even more impressive. 37 RBIs, impressive as well. 4 RBIs. So I like this kid. I like his confidence. I like what he gives you. Now, we don't know what he's going to do in the majors or anything, but in Binghamton, with the Rumble Ponies, he even got better with a batting average of 317, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs, 978 OPS. Now that is very, very, very key. And then in Syracuse, we got to talk about Syracuse. He had a batting average of 178. I mean, 178, man, that's not the average that you want for a Carson Bench. That is not the average that you want when it comes to Syracuse. So 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, and an OPS of 583. Now, he did have an injury there in Syracuse, and he only played in 24 games in Syracuse. So let me see here. Comment. We got a comment here. Let me see here. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, what's going on, Jonathan? How are you doing? How you feeling, man? Randy, what's up, brother? Good stuff from you, man. Good stuff. Really appreciate you coming to the live, man. Really appreciate you. Let me see here. So, like with Carson Bench, what is going to happen with him? Like, is he going to run away with this opportunity? Is he going to? I think he's going to get the opportunity. I think we've heard from Will Salmon, we've heard from David Stearns about giving this guy the opportunity, and I'm like, how is he going to get this opportunity? So I think it's just his bat is what makes him special. His defense, not the best defensive player in the world, but I think his defense, I mean, offense, what he gives you with the bat, is very, very important. So I like Benj. I like what he gives you, but who knows what's going to happen in 2026? But I think the fact that he already showed up in Point St. Lucie just shows some determination and it's very interesting. So I like that with Carson Bench. But let's get into the struggles, right? The struggles of Carson Bench, because he did struggle in Syracuse. He did. He played in 24 games. The batting average was 178, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, 583 OPS, right? Okay, cool. But it's like, I feel like with the competition gets harder. Like Syracuse, the pitching there is definitely more difficult. So what's going to happen in the majors? Because the major league pitching is serious. You're getting big dogs. You're getting guys that throw 99, that throw 100, throw 98. Experienced pitchers know how to pitch. So I think Carson Bench is going to have a challenge in 2026, but he is the number 16 prospect in the MLB pipeline right now. Very, very impressive. I'm going to get to that a little later, but I just think the fact that he's number 16, it just shows that his rise and how he's been. That's what I really love, man. Let me get to a couple of comments here, bro. Glad to see you talking Mets inside the house and not by yourself on the train. LOL. Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. We always talking on the train sometimes. But yeah, man. Appreciate you. See, what's up, Randy? You know that one pitcher hasn't been talked about, that hasn't been in the news in the Mets land, is Griffin Canning. Interesting you brought up Griffin Canning here. There hasn't been no word if he's coming back to the New York Mets. He's a free agent right now. He's a free agent. He's not so we've heard that there's been interest in Griffin Canning, but you don't know what's going to happen with Griffin Canning. So there's interest there, right? There's interest, but maybe it's like not the biggest interest in the world, but who knows, man? Who knows? But I want to get into the Beatty stats. And Brett Beatty is a guy that has been talked about definitely for some time. It's been talked about his struggles in AAA. It's been talked about in the minors, his struggles. But in the majors this year, he had a pretty good year. He had 2025. He had a pretty good year. He batted 254, which is the batting average, 18 home runs, 50 RBIs, but he was hitting the ball more in the air. That is what's really important. Hitting the ball in the air for Brett Beatty. And I like what I saw from Brett Beatty. I think he needs to have that confidence. He needs to, feel that confidence for him to do good. And maybe those struggles in the minors helped him, get to where he's at now. And 254 batting average is not the most amazing batting average in the world. 18 home runs. Okay, there's power there. But I think there's more to come with Brett Beatty. But how is he going to get those at bats? Is he going to play? Is he going to be this utility guy? Because when Luis Angel Acuna, right? Once they sign Bo Bichette, I'm like, Acuna's probably going to get traded. What's going to happen with Brett Beatty? And I feel like Brett Beatty is a guy that, first of all, got so much better with his defensive versatility. The fact that he could play third base, second base, apparently they're talking about him playing first base, playing left field. I mean, you're talking about this guy being the super utility guy. Like, I think that's very, very interesting. So let me see. Let me here. Say shout out to the Pope, bro. Reposting the stream. Really appreciate you, bro. Shout out to you. Shout out to Queens Baseball, bro. Shout out to Quinn. That's a group that I'm a part of. We're trying to go live every Thursday. So shout out to Queens Baseball. We're gonna go live every Thursday around 8:30, around that time frame. It's just a bunch of guys. If you don't know about the Queens Baseball Spaces, definitely come through to these Queens Baseball Spaces. We just talk Mets ball and just have some fun. And yeah, man, it's a really, really good vibe. So yeah, look out for that Queens Baseball on YouTube. Queens Baseball on YouTube. Let me see here. Comment. I can see Brett Beatty playing left field like he did in college. I like that comment because, okay, you can see him playing left field, right? But where is Carson Bench going to get the opportunity to play left field? Are you going to give Brett Beatty the shot, or are you going to give Carson Bench the shot? Now, that's the interesting factor. What's going to happen with these two? Who wants it more? Like I said, who wants it more between Carson Bench? I think when it comes to Brett Beatty and a Bench, who wants it more? Who really is going to get that opportunity and just run with it? Like, we've seen these prospects, like multiple prospects, really struggle. And that's what I want to see these guys prevail, these young kids prevail, because we haven't had a lot of young kids that have prevailed in some time. Pete Alonso, when he first came up in 2019, absolutely went crazy. I mean, he hit 53 home runs. You know what I'm saying? So that was awesome to see. Jeff McNeil, when he came up, he had a good time. He was, hitting the ball a lot. He was being productive. But I think we have to hit on some of these kids. We've seen Brett Beatty come up and struggle. We've seen Mark Vientos come up and struggle. Now, Mark Vientos, 2024, when he really got that first opportunity, he looked pretty good. But his sophomore year in 2025 really struggled. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this team. Let me see here. Stearns should trade Mark Vientos and Jack Weniger for Yandy Diaz. Wow, Yandy Diaz. Okay, so I get the need to try to trade for a guy like Yandy Diaz, because I do like Yandy Diaz. He's a guy that, first of all, gives you some power, gives you high average, can hit the ball a lot. Like, you want that type of guy. And I think he has 2 years of control, was the last time I checked on that. But the last I heard with the Yandy Diaz, it's going to take a pretty big package to get him. So is that package good enough? A Jack Weniger and a Mark Vientos? Now, after you traded Brandon Sproat, which, like, you traded Brandon Sproat for Freddie Peralta, and you lost a pitcher, but you gained obviously a really good pitcher, but you lost a prospect. Are you willing to lose another prospect like Jack Weniger? That's the case. Are you willing to trade Jack Weniger for Yandy Diaz, 2 years of Yandy Diaz? Because I personally, I'm not a fan of trading for trading Jack Weniger, because I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to be really good. Have you guys seen Jack Weniger? I mean, this guy's a beast. This guy is tall. This guy is strong. He looks like he's going to be a real beast for this rotation. And okay, you traded Brandon Sproat, but let's not trade all of our pitchers. We're going to need some of these pitchers. We got guys like Clay Holmes, who's going to have the opt-out next year. Once 2026 ends, he's going to be able to opt out if he wants. You got David Peterson. This is his last year with the New York Mets. This is his last year. So you got guys that are definitely, Freddie Peralta's a rental. Nolan McLean, you got him under control. Jonah Tong, you got him under control. So, yeah, Kodai Senga is going to be a free agent in 2027. So I think you need these young pitchers. in the minors. Let me see here. We don't know if Carson Bench is going to be ready in time for the regular season. That's why I mentioned Brett Beatty, because he can play also first base with Jorge Polanco getting the day off. It's a good point. It's a good point. I see what you're saying. I definitely see what you're saying. Let's see here. So yeah, I think Beatty, like, he has more in the tank. He has more than 254 batting average, than 18 home runs, and 50 RBIs. He has a lot more than that. And because I think, like, if you would have gave him those full at bats, if you would have played the whole year, I think you would have seen a lot more from Brett Beatty. He probably would have hit you maybe 25 home runs, 22 home runs around there. And he probably would have hit like 260, 270. In the second half, I don't know if you guys know this, but he was like he was one of the hottest Mets. It was him and Juan Soto that were the hottest Mets in the second half when it comes to OPS. So I think Brett Beatty, he looked really, really comfortable. He looked confident. And that's something that is very important. Like, you want a player like that to be comfortable. You want Brett Beatty to be comfortable because of what you saw in the past with these guys. They haven't been good. They haven't been good. These guys have not been good. Brett Beatty has struggled for years. And I'm talking about for years. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Brett Beatty? What's going to happen with Carson Bench? Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but there is an opportunity. And that's what I like. That Carson Bench is actually getting the opportunity. Because how was any of these guys going to play if a Brandon Nimmo and was still here? They weren't. They weren't going to play. So Carson Bench and Nimmo needed to go for a guy like Carson Bench can come up and prevail and be a part of this team. And also, you got another guy who I'm going to talk about in my next thing, but you got another guy, AJ Ewing. He's a big time so I want to talk about these prospects. Actually, I want to talk about these prospects real quick. So okay. Number 6, right, in the MLB pipeline right now, number 6 is Nolan freaking McLean. You saw what he did. Nolan McLean. If you didn't see what he did, you should look up what he did in 2025, because he looked really, really good, man. I mean, the breaking pitches just looked amazing. His RPM is 3,000. It was awesome to see. You saw the game against the Phillies. It was just exciting. That's something that's exciting with these guys. So number 6 in the MLB pipeline, according to Jim Callis, is now Nolan McLean. So the Mets have 4, top 100 prospects in the according to Jim Callis of the MLB. So you got number 16, who we talked about. We talked about Carson Bench. I feel Carson Bench is going to run away with this opportunity. I think he's going to really run away with this opportunity. I think what makes Carson Bench so good is that he's a complete hitter. That's the thing. He's not like this guy that's a pull hitter. A guy like Ronnie Mauricio, he has a lot of power, but he doesn't make a lot of contact. Carson Bench, he makes contact and he hits the ball hard. So I like Carson Bench and I like what he gives you. So we'll see what happens there. And then you got Jonah Tong, number 48, guys. Number 48. What's going to happen with Jonah Tong? I feel like the young kid, Jonah Tong, he looked a little outmatched with in 2025. I feel like he didn't face the adversity really ever. He was killing it in the minors. I mean, the minor league pitcher of the year. Credit to him. Credit to him. But it's like, you can't throw that fastball in the middle or high every single time. And that's what he was doing in the minors. That's something he has to learn. He has to learn with that stuff here. Let me see here. Older MLB fans, Benj reminds me of the Andy Van Slyke style here. Okay, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. See. I think Benj, the fact that he's such a complete hitter, like he can hit the ball the opposite way. He can pull the ball. Like he doesn't need to, be this pull hitter. He hit the ball all to fields, to all fields. And that's like very important. That's very important. So I like the confidence and I like what I see from Carson Benj. Today I think it was Carson Benj and Nolan McLean, like literally like battling each other. Like Nolan McLean was pitching to Carson Benj, and Carson Benj was was trying to swing and stuff, and he actually hit Nolan McLean. So I think this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun season, and it's gonna be such a different team than what you have seen in the past. It's such a different thing. So it's gonna be interesting. Let me see here. I read somewhere that Jonathan is not going to Canada for the World Baseball Classic. He needs to work on his pitching mechanics. Francisco Lindor is not going to the World Baseball Classic as well. That is very interesting. So I like what you said here. So you talked about Jonathan and not going into the World Baseball Classic. I don't think Jonathan needs to go to the World Baseball Classic. Why does he need, okay, what did this kid do to make him that special to go to the World Baseball Classic? I don't think he did anything special. Like, to me, it has to be an honor to go to the WBC, the World Baseball Classic. Like Nolan McLean, you saw what he did in 2020 freaking 5. I mean, he looked like a beast. There's a reason why he's the number 6 prospect in the MLB pipeline because of what he did. I mean, he absolutely killed it for 8 starts. And even when he didn't have his most dominant start, he still had like 11 strikeouts in the Chicago game, but allowed 5 runs. That's that's just so like interesting. It's like, yo, nobody really cared about him losing. Nobody really cared about him giving up home runs to Seiya Suzuki. Nobody really cared about that guy hitting 2 home runs against Nolan McLean. Nobody cared about that because he struck out 11. That is what made Nolan McLean so special. It's his breaking pitches. It's his confidence. It's his demeanor on the mound. That's what I absolutely love, man. So there's a lot. There's a lot to love here. I did make an error here, and I will tell you this. I meant to put AJ Ewing in the graphic, and I put Jonathan. I can't believe it, man. But number 97 is supposed to be. This is AJ Ewing, guys. This is not Jonathan. My mistake. I was rushing through the day. It's been a hectic day, but I want to get you guys alive at least every Tuesday around 7:00. So, I will own up to my mistake and tell you this. Obviously, I made a mistake because you see Jonathan twice, like Jonathan twice. So, but I think AJ Ewing is an interesting prospect because AJ Ewing is a guy that, first of all, he's been rising through the system. I mean, he stole 70 bases. If you don't know AJ Ewing, please do some research on AJ Ewing. I mean, he absolutely dominated. 70 stolen bases. AJ Ewing is a guy that can play second base and can play the outfield. The outfield is where he is more likely going to play for the New York Mets. And the Mets feel that AJ Ewing, he's special. He got something. He got something there. If there's any guy that's going to be the center fielder of the future, possibly, it could be AJ Ewing. Could be AJ Ewing. And this is a perfect comment. I love this comment by Patrick here. Shout out to Patrick. Shout out to everybody on the live. Really appreciate you taking the time out of your night to watch me. AJ Ewing also had a 400 on base percentage. I mean, that is very, very important. AJ Ewing on a 400 on base percentage. That is what you saw from Brandon Nimmo when he was getting on base a lot. earlier, in his days. So I like what AJ Ewing gives you. I think that the 70 stolen bases, like, who do you know in the minors that had 70 stolen bases? Who do you know? Like, we had Jet Williams, and he's fast, and he didn't even have 70 stolen bases. So it's like that's top. That's really awesome. That's awesome. That's really awesome to see. And I think what David Stearns wants is he wants this team to be more athletic. He wants his team to be more athletic. So what's going to happen with AJ Ewing? What's going to happen with these guys? I feel like at some point, AJ Ewing will get the opportunity to go to the New York Mets team. I feel like okay, Carson Bench is going to get the opportunity now, but maybe in a year, AJ Ewing will get the opportunity to be the Mets center fielder. Nobody knows. You got Luis Robert here, but nobody knows if he's going to sign with the Mets. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I really like about having AJ Ewing on this team. So I do want to talk about here. I want to talk about the rotation. I want to talk about the rotation real quick. And that's that's the pitching rotation in 2026. I want to get your guys, like, how do you guys feel about the 2026 rotation? Like, how do you feel right now? Because I'm excited about it. And to me, this is exactly how I literally just put it exactly how I would make this rotation. I would want Freddie Peralta to be my number one. I would want Nolan McLean to be my number two. I would want David Peterson to be my number three, because I feel like David Peterson in the first half, he was our ace. He was dominant. He was, like, really good. In the second half, he had an absolute horrible half. And I think it was because the innings. He hasn't had that many innings in his career. So that's something to talk about. Let me see here. A comment here. We got AJ Ewing. Shout out to Tony. Really appreciate you coming to the stream, Tony. Definitely, guys. Leave me a like on the stream. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, guys. Wherever you're watching, really appreciate the support. If you can, if you get out a like to the stream, you bring out the stream to all your friends and the people that you follow. So if you could do that, appreciate you guys. Let me see here. Shout out to Tony. Ewing is why we were able to let Jet go. I like this comment. And that's because when Jet Williams, obviously he was a big prospect for the Mets. He was a top prospect. But what made Jet, expendable, whatever, what made the Mets trade Jet is, like, because they have an AJ Ewing. They have a AJ Ewing. AJ Ewing, to me, is like a taller Jet Williams. I think he's a guy that has really awesome bat to ball skills. Absolutely awesome. A 400 on base percentage, like Patrick said. So that's something that's like you can't really teach. 70 stolen bases. Not even Jet Williams did that. Not even Jet. You know what I'm saying? So I like what it gives you. Let me see here. This comment here, nice comment. Let me see. I did notice that era, AJ Ewing. I may have seen him on. Appreciate you. Yeah, I look. If I make an error, I'm gonna tell you guys I made the error. Like, I made the error. You can clearly see I made the error there. I did notice that error. AJ Ewing. I may have seen him on TV play. That's very impressive. 70 stolen bases is a lot, right? Who does he remind you about as a player? As a player, that's an interesting comment. As a player, who does AJ Ewing remind me of? Man. I'm trying to think of somebody, because he's a speedy guy. He has awesome bat to ball skills. You know what? Should I say this? Right now, what's coming to my head, like what's coming naturally to my head is Corbin Carroll. Now, I'm not gonna say AJ Ewing is gonna be Corbin Carroll. I'm not gonna say that. But right now, what's coming to my head on this live is Corbin Carroll, and that's because of the speed, the bat to ball skills. But obviously, AJ Ewing only had like 3 home runs, in 2025. So Corbin Carroll has a lot more power than AJ Ewing. But the Mets feel that AJ Ewing is going to fill out more to his body and he's going to have more power. That's something that, like, that's interesting. That's like, they feel that he can get even better than what he's doing right now. And what I don't want AJ Ewing to do is like get away from himself. If he's this guy that doesn't hit for power, then don't get away from that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just stay to your game. Because at times when you put too much in your head, like you want to be this power hitter, you want to be this contact guy, you got to kind of like pick one. Not everybody can do both. So that's interesting here. Let me see here. Comment. Patrick, what's going on? I feel that the Dodgers have 10 starters. I feel like we need to stack as many starters as possible. I like this comment because I completely think you're right. And this is why I don't want to trade a Jack Weniger. I don't want to trade a Jonathan Santucci. I don't want to trade our young pitching prospects because we already traded one in Brandon Sproat. We already did. So it's like, who are we going to are we going to really trade Jack Weniger, Santucci? Like, I feel like we can use these guys. What I said earlier, these guys are not going to be like Clay Holmes has an opt-out after the 2026 season. Is he going to use it? I don't know. But not a lot of guys are under contract. David Peterson is gone. He's gone after this year. This is his last year with the New York Mets unless they sign him back. Do the Mets want to sign back a David Peterson? Me personally, I don't know. I don't think so. Right now, what's coming to my head, I think they'll probably maybe give him a 1 or 2 year deal. But David Peterson is going to want like a 5-year deal, 4-year deal. He's going to want a longer term deal because this is going to be his first time like in free agency, right? So it's like, it's interesting. Let me see here. This is wild, but AJ Ewing reminds me of Juan Pierre. Wow. Okay. So Juan Pierre was a guy that had a lot of speed, hit the ball well, or prime Scott. Wow. I like that. Let me see. Tony, what's going on? He is more of a Brendan Donovan type player with more speed. Okay. Well, Brendan Donovan is a good player. He's a good player. I mean, I like what he gives you. He doesn't have like a lot of power, but he still gives you some power and he still gives you really good at-bats and hits for a high average. If we could get that from an AJ Ewing, shout out to AJ Ewing then. I mean, if he could do that, then awesome, bro. Awesome. Let me see here. The 2026 rotation looks pretty good. I'm not sure about Kodai Senga because of the way you said you wish to electrocute him. And I immediately thought of the electric chair. Oh my goodness sakes, you're getting crazy. G Money, bro. I think Kodai Senga, to me, it's weird with him because in the first half of 2025, he looked really good. He was pitching to a 1.47 ERA. And he was absolutely like looking like a Cy Young, which was crazy. But he didn't even pitch enough innings to get the Cy Young vote or anything like that. Because this 6 freaking man thing, he doesn't pitch a lot of games. Kodai Senga doesn't pitch a lot of games. And I feel that the Mets baby him. They baby him, man. What's up, bro? Let me see here. He plays multiple. AJ Ewing plays multiple positions. Shout out to let me see. Mayaquez. I need to say that name better. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I believe Carson Bench can hit 280. 280 is not bad, bro. 280 is not bad. I'll take a 280. I'll take a 280 batting average. Like, to be honest, 280 batting average, 290. I mean, come on. I'll definitely take that. If Carson Bench can hit 280 for his first year in the not in the minors, in the majors, I mean, what? That's freaking awesome. That's awesome, bro. So I like that. I like that. Yo, Randy, I love you, brother, but I'm pissed the Mets are full of mercenaries. Mercenaries. Interesting. Why you think that the Mets are made of mercenaries? What you trying to say? What you trying to say by that? I'm trying to understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, I'm trying to understand. Let me see here. Oh, I think Carson Bench can hit 280 with 20 home runs, 75 RBIs. If we could get that out of Carson Bench, there's no telling what this kid could do, bro. There is no telling what this kid could do. I mean, because you look at Carson Bench, he's a young player. I mean, a young player. Right now, he's at the age of 23 years old. Right? 23 years old. His birthday just passed. January, what was it? January 20th. So look, I mean, 23 years old, and he could give you a 280 batting average, 20 home runs, 75 RBIs. That's what you want to see. That is what you want to see in a guy like that. I like that. I like that a lot. Let me see here. Love the comments, guys. Really love the interaction from you guys. Taking the time out of your night to watch me. If you don't know, but now I'm going to tell you, if you don't know, we're going to go live, guys. We're going to go live every single Tuesday at 7 o'clock. You can catch a Randy Talks Mets show. This is episode 1. I'm kind of just doing a little refresh, rebranding of the show. And this is basically going to be episode 1. So I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night, man, really, to watch me. Let me see here. If you were to trade David Peterson, which players would you pick? Now, I like this comment, and I'm going to tell you why I like this comment. So, David Peterson, right? If there's a guy that you could trade for David Peterson, I think right now, like let's say the Mets get Framber Valdez. Let's say the Mets get Framber Valdez. Let's say they sign him, right? And they trade David Peterson. Because right now, I'm not trading David Peterson unless I get Framber Valdez. That or I get another starting pitcher that is a real caliber pitcher. Like maybe a Chris Bassett or something. I don't know. A Zach Gallen. Who knows? Who knows what that? But to me, it's like, man, come on, bro. Come on, man. I think David Peterson, if you were to trade him, let's say for a reliever, maybe you trade him for a reliever. I don't think that right now, there was talks about maybe you could trade him for an outfielder, but it's like right now, there's no point of trading of David Peterson for an outfielder because you're going to block him. You're going to block him. You're going to block Carson Bench, and you don't want to block Carson Bench, right? So if there was a guy that maybe you could trade David Peterson for, and shout out to Queens Baseball. Shout out to Queens Baseball. What we talked about today, and shout out to, Queens Baseball. We talked about the Morejon guy, from San Diego. What if we make a trade like that for, I think his name is Adrian Morejon, something like that, from San Diego? Let me actually make sure that we get the right see here. His name is Adrian Morejon. Yeah, I was right. He's 26 years old. He pitched to a 2.08 ERA. Now, I want to see if he's a rental because that's interesting. Let me see here. Vamos ver. Hey, shout out to Sonic, bro. Shout out to Sonic. The Mets are escaping to St. Lucie to pass the snow. Yeah, bro. Is there gonna be a lot of snow or something? Oh, you mean because of New York? Yeah, New York, bro. It's too cold, right? It's been too cold. Like, what's going on with this winter? Are they trying to freeze us, bro? Like, I'm not a fan of this cold. I've been wearing freaking ski mask, gloves. Yo, New York. I get it. It's been cold. But this winter, it's been like out of the ordinary when it comes to the cold. So I like the comment there. I really do like the comment. If Bench can hit 280 at the bottom of the lineup, Lindor can easily have over 100 RBIs. Now, I like this comment here, but Patrick, I want to tell you this. What about if we put Luis Robert as the ninth hitter? And we put him in because he's going to be, I know some people want to have him in the seventh spot, but I like Luis Robert in the ninth spot. Because let's say Luis Robert gets on base, right? He can steal a base and Lindor can get that RBI. Soto can get that RBI. I like that. Rather than have Carson Bench in that ninth spot, you put him maybe in the eighth spot. I like that. I like that a lot. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think Luis Robert, I mean, before he got hurt, he was stealing a lot of bases. So, very interesting. Let me see here. These new Mets are all mercenaries. We lost our favorites. Brandon Nimmo, Alonso, Diaz. I can't root for these new guys. It's going to be a disaster like Verlander, Scherzer all over again. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Minnesota, bro. Look, shout out to Minnesota. Appreciate you, commenting, interacting with me. I like the comment because it's like, it's interesting to talk about. It's interesting to talk about because, yes, we got a new team. But why wouldn't you root for these new guys? Because who are you a fan of? Are you a fan of Brandon Nimmo, Pete Alonso? Are you a fan of the New York Mets team? Who, at the end of the day, are you really a fan of? Me personally, I'm a fan of the New York Mets. Now, one of my favorite players, one of my players that I guess I want him to do good. I want him to do, pretty good and have success with the New York Mets is Ronnie Mauricio. That's somebody that I like, and I also like Elian Pena as well. Those are very exciting guys. But Ronnie Mauricio, I've been following his whole career in the minors, and that's why, like, to me, that I feel like a little, not that like I just want this guy to succeed. I just want this guy to succeed because of what he can give you. Because I see the potential in his at-bats. I see the power. I see the fact that he can hit with crazy exit velocity. I remember that first day when he hit that ball over Teoscar Hernandez's head. You know what I did? I was going around. I was working. I was working, and I went all around freaking SNY, bro. I went all around SNY, and I was like, Ronnie Mauricio, Ronnie Mauricio. I was too hype. But if the Mets trade Ronnie Mauricio, I'm gonna root for Ronnie Mauricio. But I'm going to root for the Mets. The Mets is the team that I want to succeed. When the Mets win the World Series, I'm going to be very excited because I've never seen the Mets win a World Series. We got close in 2015, but we didn't win it. So I see your comment, Minnesota, but think about it this way. Who are you rooting for? Are you rooting for those guys or are you rooting for the New York Mets team, your team? Now, me personally, I've been a Met fan my whole life. I am a die-hard fan. I don't watch, I watch basketball, I watch football, but the only fandom that I have is the New York Mets. It's the only real fandom that I have. I can't fake my fandom for any other team. I can't. I just really can't. But I appreciate you with the comment, man. But yeah, bro. Shout out to Queens Baseball, bro. Again, I can see your sports Mets show on streaming platforms and YouTube in the future. Appreciate you, man. Look, I just want to make this more of a consistent thing, and gain more of an audience than what I have now. Just try to always be better because that's what you always want to do. You always want to be better. Let me see here. Shout out to meanwhile in Syracuse. I'm not sure Stearns will give up that many draft picks for Valdez in the qualifying offer attached. Now, I could see why you're saying that, but they got Bo Bichette. Yes, they did get a pick back with the Edwin Diaz, with the Dodgers getting Edwin Diaz, but I don't know. I don't know what the Mets are willing to do with Framber Valdez, but I think that the Mets have shown interest in the guy. They have had interest. And maybe what Framber's asking for is like way too much. I don't know what he's asking for. That's the thing. Is he asking for like a 6-year deal for 200 mil? Because if he is, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. And I don't think that the Mets are probably willing to do that. And let me see here. Oh my goodness, man, bro. Listen, bro. I appreciate your comment, bro. But I mean, Randy, you have the Mets. You have the best Mets podcast. I mean, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your comment. You read everybody's comments and you respect the people. Wow. Look, I think when you're taking the time out of your night to comment on my stream, I'm gonna shout you out, and I'm going to always try to read your comments and interact with your comments, because this is a show that I'm doing, but this is a show for you guys. This is a show for the Mets community. This is a show for not just the Mets community. This is a show for baseball fans in general. Okay. So I just think that, yeah, I talk about the Mets, but I love baseball. I could talk about the Dodgers. I could talk about whatever team, the Boston Red Sox. My dad is a Boston Red Sox fan. You know what I'm saying? But if something comes up and I want to talk about it, which I will, I'm going to talk about, the WBC next, because that's something that I want to talk about. And that doesn't have to do with the Mets, but they do have some players in the Mets. So, but appreciate you, bro. Appreciate your comment. Let me see here. Dímelo, Ricky, ¿cómo está la cosa, bro? Dímelo. Ricky, what's up, bro? Appreciate you coming to the stream, bro. Minnesota, Danny Colombe is better than Adrian Morejon. Okay. Can you get me the ERA of Danny Colombe? Because I've heard of Danny Colombe before, but I don't know his ERA, and I don't really know his numbers. But I think Morejon, I mean, 2.08 ERA. If he's better than that, if Danny Colombe is better than that, then wow. Let me actually look that up. Let me actually look that up, because we got some time here. Danny Colombe. My goodness, bro. Let me see here. Okay, so in 2025, he had a 2.30 ERA, with Texas. So I think Morejon had a better ERA, which is 2.08. So why do you say he's better? That's what I wonder with what you're saying. Like, is he better? What? Because of his pitching style? Because of the strikeouts? Like, tell me in the comments if you can, elaborate on why he's better. Let me see here. Yes, Tony. Yes, Tony. Thank you for that comment, bro. Morejon is a rental. See, that's something that we talked about in Queens baseball. We talked about it in the space today. And we said that Morejon for David Peterson. I mean, why not? Why not? He's a rental. We're giving the San Diego Padres a pretty good pitcher, and we are getting a really good reliever. I think it's 1 for 1. I don't have a problem with it. I have no problem with it, bro. I have no problem with it. Speaking of Nimmo, he was the last player left from the 2016 playoff team. You're damn right he was. I wasn't the biggest Nimmo. I wasn't the biggest Nimmo guy, to be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I wasn't the biggest Nimmo guy. I wasn't. But I did appreciate what he did for us. I appreciate every day he brought the energy. He was the last guy out of the clubhouse. Always was a nice guy. I appreciate him running to first, even on a walk. Like, it was about the energy, and it was about him just being himself. And I like what Brandon Nimmo, what he gave you. I like what he gives the Met fans. But what I didn't like from Brandon Nimmo is that he wanted to change his hitting style and hit for more power and get away from what he was doing before. That's what I didn't like. And also the unfortunate, you can't make, it happens. It's injuries. It's baseball. He's an athlete. He has the plantar fasciitis. That's something that is probably going to hurt the Mets later on. So they needed to make room for Carson Bench, and they traded him. They traded Brandon Nimmo. But you're right. He was the last player left from the 2016 playoff team. Let me see. Yo, appreciate your comments, bro. Appreciate all y'all comments, man. I mean, taking the time out of your night. Like I said, just commenting, bro. Let me see. Yo, shout out to OV, bro. What's going on, my guy OV, bro? LOL, give me all the mercenaries, bro. Give me all the mercenaries. He said, give me all the mercenaries. Let's go, Mets mercenaries. I love it, bro. I love it. Look, when it comes to this team, right? 2022. 2022 was a really, really good year for the Mets. They had an awesome team, and they hit a lot with runners in scoring position, but they didn't hit a lot for power. So that's something that we are, I think, going to have to address with this team. What's going to happen with this team? Because where's the power going to come from? Is Francisco Lindor going to give you the 30 home runs? Is Juan Soto going to give you the 40 home runs? Is Polanco going to give you 30 home runs? Is Bobachek going to give you 20-something home runs, close to 30? I don't know. But what is Brett Beatty going to give you? What is Mark Vientos going to give you? What is Francisco Alvarez going to give you? And what is Carson Bench, Luis Robert? What are these guys going to give you? Now, that's important. That's important. You see here a comment. Patrick, I would get Wandy Peralta instead of Morejon. Wandy Peralta because he's cheaper and he's still a rental. Wait, is Wandy Peralta like he's on the contract still, right? He's on the contract. I know he's still on the contract. So let me actually look at the year that he had real quick. Because Wandy, that's actually, I did want Wandy Peralta before, but I don't know if I want him now. I'd rather have a guy like Morejon. I really do. Or a Danny Colombe. I hope I'm saying that name right. If I'm not, I'm sorry, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me get we got 2025. He had a 3.14 ERA. Okay, 3.14 ERA. So I like him. I like Wandy Per. I liked him in the Yankees. What he did with the Yankees, I liked as well. That's something that's like, it's cool. Like if he could pitch to a 3 point something ERA, like I would like that. I would like that. So we'll see. I don't think it would hurt to get a guy like him, but who knows? OV said, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Yo, bro. OV. G Money Stat catchers and pitchers meeting is on the 12th. Spring training is on 2/21. So there's a TV broadcast schedule. Home games are on SNY. Away games are on Pix, which holding 30 games. Okay. Yeah, I saw that SNY is. I think this is the least year that they've had. They're having at least spring training games or something like that this year, which is like, that kind of sucks, But if Pix games, I get it. We gotta spread the games out, so whatever. But you know what I don't like about spring training? Spring training to me, it feels long, bro. Like spring training at times, it feels long, and I'm like, yo, bro, can we just get to the regular season already, bro? Can we just get to the regular season? Like, come on, bro. Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness. OV mercenaries, #mercenaries, bro. Oh my god, bro. Yo, shout out to Charles, bro, with the fire emoji, bro. You gotta continue to believe. I like that comment. I love that comment, because what do we do as Met fans? We believe. We believe in the team. I know it's been a rough all season, guys. It's been a rough one, but we still believe in this team, right? We believe. Holistically. And that stream inspires me to come back to the Mets, bro. I have to accept the fact that departed guys are gone. We have new guys now, and I'm sticking with Nolan McLean, Francisco Lindor, even damn Juan Soto. Okay. Let me see here. Oh, Minnesota's not a fan. Minnesota. Let's actually get to that real quick. let's get to that real quick. Let me see. So yeah, worthless baseball classic. Now I've heard people talk, I've heard people say this before. Worthless baseball classic. Okay, I understand that what they do on the field and what they do with the WBC, like it doesn't change any MLB stats or anything like that. Is not important to the MLB regular season. I get that point. I understand that point. I get what you're saying. I completely get it, but I like the sport and I enjoy baseball. I love the sport. And I feel like this is an awesome opportunity to see so many of these countries. I mean, Japan. I mean, we're talking about so many countries, just DR, PR, all Mexico, all these countries, just Nicaragua, just, have a good time and play the baseball game. Like, I don't think that this hurts anybody. Like, okay, Edwin Diaz got injured. Edwin Diaz got injured. Okay, like who else really gets injured? That was a freak injury. So what is the pain of the WBC? I just don't get it. What is like what are you guys afraid of? Are you guys afraid of your players getting hurt? Okay, I get that. But who realistically has got hurt? Edwin Diaz? Who else? Jose Altuve maybe had a small injury there. He still played the season. So I feel like this is a competition. Like, oh, and also people say this. Okay, you think this is a worthless baseball classic, right? And you don't want him to play in the worthless baseball classic, is what you call it, right? Aren't they going to play in spring training? Isn't it a risk to play in spring training too? Okay, now the argument is probably that the higher competition is obviously in the WBC, right? It's compared to spring training. I understand that. I understand that. But to be honest, these guys are athletes. Okay, the MLB supports this. It's not like the MLB doesn't support this. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Danny Colombe had a 1 ERA with the Twins. With the Twins. When was this? Danny Colombe, I'm looking at his stats right now. 2025, 2.30 ERA. You mean with the okay, because he got traded, right? Okay, I see what you're saying. But overall, he had a 2.30 ERA. So that's what I look at. But sometimes relievers, they're a little inconsistent. So can you look, maybe I got to look at Danny Colombe's last year before 2025 to see what he gave you? Because you know how relievers are. You remember Aaron Loop? You remember Aaron Loop for the Mets? He had a 1 point, like what 1 point something ERA? Like, or yeah, something like that. He had an amazing ERA. And what did he do the next year with the Angels? He struggled. So plain and simple. The water bottle classic. Oh my God. Danny Colombe is a free agent. Oh, he's a free agent. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay, look, if he's a free agent, I honestly, I get it. He's 36 years old, so he's older. He's an older pitcher, but to me, I don't think age really matters when it comes to the relievers that much. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't really think it matters. Like, if they give you consistent consistency year by year basis, then have some fun. Like let's do it. But I like this comment here by Charles. I love this comment. Morejon throws 99 miles per hour sinkers and he dominates. He'd be a fantastic get for the right cost. Now, I want to ask you this, Charles. Are you trading David Peterson for Morejon 1-for-1? Are you doing it? Me personally, I think I'm gonna do it. But I'm gonna do it with me saying I'm gonna go get Framber Valdez or I'm gonna go get Chris Bassett. That's what I'm saying. Because I don't think Chris Bassett has signed yet, right? I don't think so. But let me see here. Oh my goodness, man. You guys are just commenting like so many comments. Really appreciate you guys. Can you imagine when the casino and the amusement park is done, we're including lifetime casino park passes for players, families, hotel suites in context? Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think like it's gonna be cool, like giving like Queens is gonna finally feel like Queens, man. Like Queens should like City Field shouldn't be a dump. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be a dump. They should have a mall there. They should have something there. They should have a casino there. They should have like stuff for people to do. Like what if somebody wants to do something, after the game? Maybe they want to go to the mall, maybe they want to go to the casino. That's cool. I like that. I personally like that. You see, Tony said the team is designed to put the ball in play. You are not dependent on the home run anymore. See, I feel that I feel like you're completely right. I think the home run ball, like, okay, you need power. I understand that. But you saw in 2025 with runners in scoring position, like how much we struggled, because we absolutely struggled, man. We absolutely struggled. That's something that it got to be talked about. The spring training schedule was posted on Instagram on one of the Mets users. Regular season for the Mets is March 26th. Yep, you're right. You're damn right, bro. Let me see here. I think Luis Robert Jr. is gonna be rejuvenated. Oh my god, I can't read at times, bro. Rejuvenated. Let me say that right. Let me say that right for you guys. Something. I need to read more, guys. I need to read more. But rejuvenated on being on a good team. He's gonna hit 30 home runs. 30 home runs for Luis Robert? Look, I think let's pump the brakes a little bit. Let's pump the brakes on the expectations for him to hit 30 home runs. I don't think, I'm not going to say he's not going to hit 30 home runs, but if he gives you 25 home runs, he gives you 22 home runs. I'm taking that. I just want the guy to be healthy. That's what I want from Luis Robert. That's the part I was trying to get to about Francisco Lindor in terms of the insurance constraints. And let's get into that. Real quick. So the latest on the WBC. Let me actually see something real quick. Want you guys to let me see. I'm going to share my screen here. Okay. All right. Okay. So, I just had it up. Didn't I just have it up? Oh my goodness. Let me see. Just had it up just now. There we go. Okay. All right. Let me do this. Put me over here real quick. All right. All right, let me see something. All right. Okay. So you guys can see this, right? All right. So let me go down here. Okay. So you see, this with the WBC. Let's get into that real quick. So this was the latest thing. Remember, on January 31st, Francisco Lindor won't participate in the 2026 WBC due to the insurance constraints after the elbow procedure. That is what we first heard, right? That's what we first heard. That because of that procedure, he wasn't going to play in the WBC because he's not insured. That is something that Francisco Lindor wants to be insured. But look at this. Look at this. Credit to Just Baseball. The president of the Puerto Rico Baseball Federation has not ruled out a last-minute addition of Francisco Lindor to their WBC roster per, primera hora. Okay, arrangements are being made with a private insurer to get Lindor covered, and will seek approval from the MLB and the Mets. You see, that's like that's important. That's what I wanted to talk about real quick. Okay, so let me get out of that real quick. Let me just go back here to so work in progress here, guys. Is it this one? Yeah. All right. So sorry about that. So yeah. I think that's like, it's important to talk about the WBC, right? With Francisco Lindor, because there's been talks about like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? We saw the report. That first report was like, he's not going to play. He's not going to play because of the surgery. He's not going to play because of that. But now with the president of the Federation of Puerto Rico, I mean, that trying to see if they could get some insurance for Francisco Lindor to play, that's cool. That's interesting. I want Francisco Lindor to play. I'm Dominican and I'm Puerto Rican. And I've been to DR more, and I love more Dominican food, to be honest. But I think when it comes to Puerto Rico and DR, I want Puerto Rico to have the best guys that they can possibly have. I want DR or Puerto Rico to win. If they win, okay, cool. Like I'm good. My first team I'm gonna go for is DR, because that's just I feel like I have more of a connection with DR because I've been to DR way more times in my life, like so many damn times. And Puerto Rico, I haven't been to a lot of times, but that's just because of my personal connection that I have with DR. Just I just enjoy it. So yeah, I think when it comes to the with the Mets, I think that the Mets are going to be fine with him going to the WBC. I think that they're fine with that. But the confusion is that it's the insurance, right? The insurance. That is what needs to be fixed with Francisco Lindor. He wants to get insured. But if the president, if the Federation of Puerto Rico, if they insure Francisco Lindor, is the Mets and the MLB going to accept that? I have no clue. I don't know. But I think it's interesting to talk about. Let me see here. Francisco Lindor is going to get prepared for spring training. Okay. I think it makes him very expensive. Tyler Rogers. The article about Francisco Lindor constraints is on Amni. Amni. What's Amni? I don't know what Amni is. But yeah. Let me see. Oh, this is a good comment. I like Moreholm was a Dodger killer last season. 21 at bats, 0 hits allowed. We need that. I like that comment. I like what you said there. Let me see here. Tough for me to give up a starting pitcher, one that can give you innings for a reliever, but Peterson makes the most sense given that he's a free agent at the end of the year, I would definitely think about it, but I want them to sign an innings eater to replace him. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, Charles, that's what I was saying. And shout out to Charles, who was on the show in our last live before. Shout out to Charles, man. It was really awesome to have you, and we're gonna have you again, hopefully, soon. But definitely, like, it was awesome to have you. But I like the comment. I like what you're saying. Like, I would want to. Like I said, I would want a Chris Bassett. I would want a Framber Valdez. I would want somebody like that if I'm gonna trade David Peterson. But yeah, with the latest with the with Lindor guys, like, that's really the latest. I don't really know what else to talk about there. But our last topic we're gonna talk about is the lineup. I want to hear from you guys. What would your lineup be for the New York Mets in 2026? What would your lineup be? Because for me, my lineup would be, I would like Francisco Lindor to be first, obviously Juan Soto to be second, Bo Bichette to be third, Jorge Polanco to be fourth. I would like Marcus Semien to be fifth because I feel like Marcus Semien, he's still a good bat, and I think he could give you something there. I think he could. And then for the sixth, I'll give you, for the six, I'm gonna say probably Mark Vientos. Mark Vientos or whoever's DHing, I'm gonna give them that sixth spot. Brett Beatty or Mark Vientos. That's what I'm probably gonna give them here. But let me see. You guys are having a whole conversation here. You guys, Patrick, it's is San Diego. Prella asks for the moon. He'll start with Tong, but you guys are having your own conversation. Yo, I love the interaction though. I think Preller would trade Tong for Morejon, not the other way around. Okay. Come on. Are you? We're gonna trade Jonah Tong for Morejon? All right, come on. Like, no. No. That's not happening. That is not happening. That is not happening. Like I said, David Peterson. If the Padres don't want to take David Peterson, you know what I'm saying, for Morejon, then I don't care. They're not getting him. We're not getting Morejon. Like, it's not gonna happen. But yeah, man. But let me see here. I like this comment. We got Lindor. Okay, so you said Lindor, Juan Soto, Bo Bichette for sure. And the rest switch up depending on if it's lefty or righty starter. Ooh, okay. I'm not saying that who's Prella asked for. Have you seen his trades before? Yeah, you're right. His trades have been wild. Like, his trades have been wild. You're right. So let me see here. So Minnesota said Luis Robert. Okay, you got Luis Robert in the first? You got Luis Robert. Wow. You see, this is something that I was kind of thinking about. Like, I've been thinking about for some time with the Mets, them actually like having a leadoff hitter. But Luis Robert, he's the guy that I think he could be your awesome leadoff hitter. If he's healthy and he gives you what he could give you, like what he gave you in 2023 or close to that, then I'll put him as your leadoff hitter. But right now, he's been struggling. He hasn't been healthy. So right now, I'm having him as the ninth hitter. That's what I'm doing. But I'm gonna read your lineup here. Luis Robert, Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, Francisco Lindor in the cleanup spot. Wow. We got Polanco in the fifth, 6 Semien, 7 Beatty. You got 8 Alvi, and you got 9 Vientos. Where's Carson Bench? You don't even have Carson Bench in here? What? Oh my God. Oh man. I see what you're doing. And like Carson Bench is not like he's gonna get like nobody knows if he's gonna get the job, right? Nobody knows he's gonna get the job. But who knows? But let's see here. Shout out to Carlos, bro. What's going on? Lindor, Bo Bichette, Juan Soto, Vientos in the cleanup. Wow. Vientos, Polanco, Simeon, Alvarez, Benj, and Robert. You see, I like the ninth. I like Robert being in the ninth spot. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it because what you can get out of Luis Robert in the ninth spot, he could get on base, he could steal a base, and Francisco Lindor could get a hit, or Soto could get a hit, and that's an RBI right there. That's an RBI. That's an RBI right there, bro. Que lo que, bro? Que lo que, bro? Que lo que? Man, bro. Man. So yeah, my lineup, and I'm gonna end it after this, but my line, and man, I really appreciate you guys, coming, taking the time out of your night, like to watch me, bro. If you don't know, I'm gonna be live every single Tuesday around 7 to 7:30, probably 7 p.m. I'm going to be more consistent. So just to let you guys know. Okay. Let's see here. Exactly, Randy. Bro, 3 guys getting on base for Soto, bro. Yes. I like that. I like what you're saying. Let me see here. Meanwhile, in Syracuse, no matter what, Bichette third, he's so clutch. Like a 344 batting average with runners in scoring position. Oh, Soto has a 400 on base percentage. Don't waste Bo Bichette, Soto's strength. Okay. Yes, I like that. And I think that's what they're gonna go with. They're gonna go with Juan Soto. They're gonna go with Lindor, Juan Soto, and Bo Bichette in the third spot. That's what they're gonna go with. I heard like Mendoza talk about it, so I think that's what they're gonna do. And I think Polanco's probably gonna be their cleanup hitter. That's what I do. I feel that I would have Marcus Semien in the 5th spot because he's still a good bat. I think he could give you something. He's a good, contact guy. So I like that. Bro. But yeah, man, we are going to end it here. Okay, we're going to end it here. My goodness. Appreciate you guys coming out to the stream, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like I was having some trouble going live. Like I was busy. I was doing some things, but you guys, I mean, you guys came through. You guys came through with an interaction. You guys came through with the comments. Like, I love that. And so we're going to be live every single Tuesday around 7 p.m. Okay, so expect the Randy Talks Mets show every single Tuesday. I will be having more guests on. I will be having, more fun. It's going to be more fun. We're doing this every single Tuesday. Okay. And if I don't go live on Tuesday, you will get a video on Tuesday and it will still be an episode. Okay. It will still be an episode. So we just always expect a Tuesday, an episode from Randy Talks Mets. But you guys are awesome. I hope you guys had a good time, interacting and just talking Mets. And yeah, we'll see what happens. I think there's maybe a move to come. Maybe who knows with this team? Nobody knows. We're getting close to spring training. So we're getting close. We'll see. But yeah, guys. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Let's go Mets. Have a good one. I love GM. I'm out of here.